Wow. Dr. Macaulay, how are you?
Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.
Wow. Where are you? Are you in Nigeria?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
In Lagos, actually.
Where?
In Lagos.
Okay.
Lagos.
In Lagos. Okay. Wow. See, it has been a long time coming. I've been following you on LinkedIn. See, I'm always excited when I see people who are doing something and achieving something that affects all of us. You know, it's exciting to see the amount of activities going on all around us, you know. So I'm always excited when I talk to people like you. So can I call you Babajide? Yeah.
Yes, please. Yes,
very
sure.
Good. Thank you for that. So Babajide, please introduce yourself. Tell my audience who you are and what you do.
Okay, so Babajide Milton Macaulay. I am a native of Lagos State, Nigeria. That makes me an African from the West. And I have a bachelor's degree in biology. I obtained that from the Federal University of Technology, Akure, Futa.
Okay.
Here in Ondo State, Nigeria. I had that in 2010, and I was fortunate to finish with a first class. And as a result, I was immediately offered employment to become an academic. Okay. Now, I accepted because I love teaching and research. And that's the reason why I accepted it. I didn't accept it because I didn't get an alternative. No. So let's get that out of the way first.
Okay.
And afterwards, I was privileged to get the Commonwealth Scholarship for my master's. So that brought me to the UK, where I had my master's in sustainable environmental management at the University of Greenwich in London.
Okay.
And then I finished that in 2013. And afterwards, I returned, like some people will not, but I did. I returned to Nigeria and joined my employer, you know, and then taught for like 2 years before I obtained another Commonwealth scholarship for my PhD. So in 2015, I set out again to the UK for my PhD, this time around to Manchester up north.
Yeah.
And I then had my PhD in environmental geochemistry and geomicrobiology. Now, it's a mouthful. It's not as difficult as it sounds.
so tell us, what does that mean?
Okay. So it's basically 3 words: environment,
yes,
geochemistry,
yes,
geomicrobiology. So environment, that is easy to understand.
Yes.
Geochemistry is earth and chemicals.
Yes.
So I was looking at chemicals on the ground.
Yeah.
And then geomicrobiology is earth and microbes.
Yes.
So I was literally looking at the interaction of microorganisms in the mobilization of chemicals on the ground. And all of this happening in the environment.
Yeah.
So that's how to describe what I studied.
It's good.
Okay. Yeah.
See, I studied biochemistry way back.
Okay.
Although unlike you, I wasn't a good student. Okay. Because I didn't actually want that. Okay. So I wasn't a good student, but my project, like we do in Nigeria, I did a good job of it. In fact, my project and my term papers were the only courses I got A's.
Wow.
Yeah. And then my lecturer wanted me to come back for a master's, which I disagree with. Okay. And I went on to get an MBA, and then I started working as in banking. Now,
Oh, wow.
after that, I suddenly realized my love of science. Okay. So because in the first place, what attracted me to science was Dr. Carl Sagan and his Cosmos series back then in the 80s. And right now I read a lot of stuff in science, including environmental science. See, this year I've read Dr. David Attenborough's book, The Life on Our Planet. I've read this Climate Crisis and Global Green New Deal, Chomsky. I've read the oneness versus the 1%, Vandana Shiva. And then I've got this, which I want to read, Apocalyptic Never by Michael Shedenberg, and then Entangled Life by Melin Shedra. Now, why am I showing you this?
Yeah,
I'm very interested in the environment, and so should all of us. Okay.
Yeah.
But in recent years, we get conflicting messages on the climate crisis. Is it real? Is it not real? Is it real? Is it not real? It's something confusing for ordinary people. Now, ordinary people would not do what I'm doing, reading all these books. Okay, so it depends on the people they listen to, who tell them whatever they tell them, that's what they will do. Now, in your as a environmental scientist, tell us what you know. I'm not saying what you think, what you know. Okay, right. As a environment scientist, what is going on with our planet and the environment?
Okay, so I understand what you mean by is it true or it's not true. That has been a debate for a while.
Yes.
But I think as more evidence, kept coming up, that debate, to tell you the truth, has actually dwindled. Unlike 10 years ago, it was a very big debate. Okay. But right now, I think if there are any scientists who still think it's not true, probably less than 10%. Okay. Most scientists
I hear from Dr. Neil deGrasse Tyson, less than 3% of scientists.
Okay.
Yeah. But then the 3% are loud.
Yeah. I would explain why they still think the way they think. And I will also explain why they should not think the way they think.
Okay, very good.
So let me start by saying the reason why they think the way they think is because they feel that this event has occurred in the past before. So it's occurred in the past where the Earth warmed up, and went real high. Life was threatened, and we survived it, and we're still here.
No, we were not there. We were not there.
No, not
life
us,
survived.
I mean,
it. Yes.
Life survived this.
Yes.
And we are here now. So according to these people, it doesn't matter. Yes, life will survive, and another group of organisms will rise again.
Exactly.
And so it will happen. It's like a timeline for these things to occur.
Yeah.
And we are at that time again for it to happen. Now, the truth is while that is not entirely false,
okay,
right? What such scientists have failed to realize is the accelerated warming.
Yeah.
Now, yes, it is true that the earth will naturally warm up after a while, but we're talking about millions of years. We're talking about millions of years. It's going to really take a really, really long time.
Yeah.
But look at what is happening to us. Humans, through their ingenuity and intelligence, are creating substances to progress society, but at the same time, releasing substances into the environment that are now accelerating the warming process.
Yes.
That's the difference.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
So that's what the problem is. So we are putting in things into the environment that are now causing the warming to double, to triple. Now, it's something that should normally take, for example, just for example, let's say it's supposed to take 10 years to happen. It's not happening in 2.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why we're saying, look, we need to be very careful here because we are the ones making it happen quicker.
Yeah.
Can we do something to de-accelerate it?
Yeah.
Can we do something to stop it? Because we were the ones who started it. So can we reduce? And that's what has led to the zero carbon, this blah, blah, blah. At least they agree with us that CO2 is the problem.
Okay.
So there is no argument on that. They all agree. The problem is they feel like we are alarmists.
Yeah,
that's what they feel.
That's
like
what
we are just making
Michael says.
Making noise.
Yeah.
Alarmists, right?
Why environmental alarmists hurt us all. Okay.
Exactly. That's the term.
Yeah.
You guys are just making noise, just shouting.
Yeah.
But that's not what this is. It's the fact that we've studied the trend. Now, when I must take a step back. When the argument started, governments of nations are usually not scientists, they are politicians.
Yes.
Right? And so they were like, we are not still clear about this. How do we understand this? So now the United Nations decided that, okay, what we're going to do is let's put together a group of environmental experts to study the pattern going on in the last 20 years, 30 years, and tell us if indeed we are releasing substance, if indeed human activity is accelerating the warming.
Yeah.
So they put together a body called the Intergovernmental Panel of Climate Change, IPCC.
Okay.
Now, the IPCC are they are the experts, right? They are environmental scientists, not one, not two. It's a team pulled from different parts of the world.
Hundreds or maybe thousands. Yep. Across the world.
And eventually, they have continued to supply reports upon reports, every 2 years or so, telling us that indeed anthropogenic activities are warming the environment. So, to tell you the truth, I've just explained why the 3% feel the way they feel, and why they should not also feel the way they feel.
Yeah.
Because look, it's not an issue of it happened in the past. It's an issue of the rates at which it's happening now.
Yeah.
Exactly.
See, for me, it's pretty simple. Okay, because the activities of human beings in the last 250 years I mean, we're doing things that no human being was ever to do in the history of human beings until now. Okay.
Exactly.
And then you're telling me it do not affect the environment? It doesn't make sense. Okay. It doesn't make sense for us to be digging up the earth, bringing things that the environment has in its ingenuity stored away, and then we are bringing it up, using it, putting gases in the environment, and we think it will not affect the environment, it doesn't make sense. Okay.
Exactly.
Well, I hope people understand how these things happen. But yes, it's happening. Okay. But then it also gives us the opportunity to learn how to do different things. In fact, that's why I'm reading this book and in the Entangled Life, because now I'm learning the function, what fungi does in the environment. In fact, I've been watching a lot of documentaries about fungi, and it's so exciting to see how it eliminates things that are harmful on the surface and taking them down on the ground and using them to feed the plants. And see, it's life itself. It's wonderful. See, that's why I'm smiling. See, life itself is wonderful. And the truth of the matter is this: if we don't do a bit to decelerate the trend, well, what will happen is that this disaster will happen. We who were not there the last time the earth warmed, we will lose out. Okay, because we'll lose out. The earth will still be here, life will still be here, but we will not be here. It's as simple as that.
As simple as that.
Yeah, exactly.
And to make it worse, what this guy wants to take us to Mars now.
Yes.
What's his name again?
Musk.
Yes. Now, to make it worse, Elon Musk is thinking, let's abandon Earth.
Yes.
Right?
I mean,
thinking, let's
crazy.
Find an alternative, since we can already see that.
And then he wants to go somewhere where we don't actually know much about the environment there. And I mean,
even if we eventually use our intellect and the power of science and tech that we have to understand how to live on Mars, I give us another 600 years and we will do the same thing. Then we'll start looking for Jupiter to run to. It's I don't know. It's like
it's crazy. It's crazy. So, Babajide,
yes,
tell us a little bit about your research in bioenergy, and more importantly, what opportunities will it generate for young people in Africa?
Okay, so I'll tell you how it even started.
Okay.
So my PhD wasn't related to bioenergy at all. My PhD was more of environmental pollution, because I was looking at arsenic. I don't know if you've heard of arsenic. Arsenic is a poison. I think most people, so most people know arsenic as poison. That poison that kings used in the past. Right? So it's commonly called the poison of kings and the king of poisons. And the reason why it's called the poison of kings and the king of poisons is because in the past, I'm talking about 15th centuries and so on. Princes that would become potential kings would use arsenic to poison other princes that are probably heir to the throne. And the reason why arsenic was just the perfect poison is because when it mixes with water, it totally dissolves. You would never see it. Trace it. No smell, no trace, nothing. The only time you would know it's there is if you carry out some chemical reactions.
Yeah,
but
and
back
that
in those
they were
days,
they were not there
don't
then.
have
Yeah,
that. Exactly. So, but they would just be wondering, like, how does, like, what's in the food?
he
What's
was
going
good.
on? What did they have no clue. So
Yeah.
it was the king of poisons, right? And the poison of kings.
Yeah.
So I was working on it, and I was looking at how arsenic was naturally released into drinking aquifers.
Okay.
And that's because microorganisms are responsible for the release of arsenic into aquifers. So imagine that you drink water from your well and it's got arsenic in it. So, and nothing is not human caused. It's natural.
Yeah.
Microbes are just down there doing their business.
Yeah.
So that was what I did for
so
my
so
PhD.
arsenic is the extract for their own natural reaction to other things.
Oh no, arsenic is naturally existing in rocks. So you find it on the ground. It's just there.
Okay.
The problem is arsenic is often found alongside iron. So it's got a high affinity for that. So microbes down there need iron because it's an essential element for growth, and even man, we need iron, Fe. Now, when you consume, so now as they try to utilize the iron, they get the arsenic into their system accidentally. Now, when it gets into the system, now in that form, arsenic is in its solid form. Okay. But by the time they ingest it, and it's now inside them, and they say, oh, wait a minute, we've got the iron, but we've also got a substance here.
We don't want.
It's a poison. It's a poison. Then they quickly ring bell. Bang, 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 bang. Poison in the house. Poison in the house. And everyone begins to run, trying to get rid of the poison. Eventually, they convert it into an aqueous form that sends it out of the system.
Okay.
So because it is now in an aqueous form, when it gets out of the system, it just dissolves in water. Exactly. So that's the process. What I just explained to you is more complex than
of course. That is the beauty of science. You have not talked about a little bit about the chemistry of arsenic.
Exactly.
That is the beauty of science. See, go on. Yeah.
Okay. So, well, that was my PhD. But when I got back, I discovered that Nigeria didn't really have an arsenic problem per se. So it wasn't something I was going to go on to continue to do if I wanted to be relevant.
Yeah.
Arsenic was more of a problem in Asia than it is in Africa. So I started looking at what else can I do that is really an issue that I can help to profile real developmental change to my community.
Good.
And so the first thing I noticed was waste. Waste was just all over the place.
Yeah.
And especially in Lagos, you have waste everywhere.
My hometown too.
The road, by the side of the road, waste is just everywhere. And I'm like, there should be something we can do with this waste. And to make it worse, Lagos is the most populated state in Nigeria, has got a population of about 30 million people. That's the size of probably Ghana, right? And that's a state. And to make this more interesting, is the smallest state in Nigeria in terms of size.
Yes.
So you have the highest number of people living in the tiniest piece of land.
Yeah.
Now, these people, they are going to produce waste, solid waste, a lot of it.
Yeah.
And so the government of the state started dealing with real problems managing this waste. As a matter of fact, they spend 3 billion annually to manage the waste. So when I say manage, what do they actually do? They take the waste and find a landfill to dump it.
Yeah.
Imagine a landfill in a state that has no land.
Exactly.
Right? So that's the first way to make you know there is a problem here. Now, the landfills that we've got, they are the largest in West Africa. They are massive. And the worst part of all is a landfill takes about 15 years maximum before you decommission. So the biggest landfill we have in Lagos that has been serving us successfully should be decommissioned by 2025. So we don't have time.
Wow.
Now, when you decommission that one, they will start running a rat race to probably find another piece of land in a state that you have no land. So that's when I realized that the answer is not to keep looking at waste as waste, but to see waste as a resource.
Very good.
So you are to utilize the waste, not look for a place to dump it.
Yeah.
You have to use it because it's a natural resource.
Yeah.
And that's what led me to bioenergy, converting the organic part of the waste, because some organizations already use the inorganic part like plastic.
Oh, very
metals,
good. Very good.
But they don't, yes, they already do. But they dump the organic part that smells, and you know, and all of that, the food waste and all that. So they don't know what to do with that, so they just dump it, and it still smells. It's still nuisance to the environment and to us all.
Yeah, and then you start smell the area will smell so badly.
Exactly. Yes, because it's going to decay.
Yeah,
it's going to decay and then smell. So, but that's the part that I need to generate biogas.
Very good.
What exactly is biogas? Biogas is gas that is generated from organic waste in the absence of oxygen. That's almost like fermentation of fats. You remove, so when you break it down, you release gas, and that gas is primarily a combination of methane and CO2.
Okay. Now you're getting into something else that is interesting. So let's see how you manage that.
Okay, so now you have methane and CO2, right, in that gas. So what makes this renewable and green is that I can capture it and utilize it as cooking gas, rather than dump it in a landfill and then it releases into the environment, adding up to the polluted atmosphere, warming the environment more. As we know, methane is even worse than CO2. It's a more dangerous greenhouse gas than CO2. And then you now have the two of them released from landfills, right? And so that is even a recipe for disaster.
Yeah.
I must also add that in Lagos, about a month ago, one of the landfills just exploded.
Ooh.
It exploded. Yeah, and that's as a result of accumulated biogas. You know, it was accumulating and flammable, and eventually poof. Yes, it did. And so what I'm trying to do here is to find a way of taking this waste fresh, putting it in a biogas plant, extracting the gas, compressing it into canisters, and selling it as cooking gas. That is the future. Yeah.
Okay. So how is it going right now?
Okay. So right now, I mean, I'm really excited to tell you that I was somewhere sharing this passionately when one person who was listening to me, and I didn't even know he was, you know, a top CEO of an oil and gas company here in Nigeria, he heard, and after the entire talk, he just gave me a phone call and said, so I heard your talk, and I'm really convinced that this is something that we need right now. I'm interested in investing. So I am happy to inform you that I have an investor, and we have officially, it's quite interesting because this time last year, it was just an idea.
Yeah.
And right now, as I talk to you, it's now a business.
Congratulations.
It's now a business.
Congratulations.
And so we have registered the business with the CAC here in Nigeria. And now we are in contact with the company that will design the biogas plant.
Good.
We want to know how much it's going to cost because we want to do this in commercial scale.
Yes.
So One of the challenges is that it's capital intensive.
Yeah.
But the good news is I have a big fish in the house.
Yes.
I already have a big fish.
Wow.
Who
Congratulations.
is super interested. So yeah. So I hope this goes well. But yeah, we are making moves on it already.
Babajide, see,
yes.
We have a lot of sources of biogas in the country. Our country is 200 million people strong. Okay, and to my the estimate in my mind, the 200 million people we eat every day. Okay.
Exactly.
And throw away all the rubbish they didn't eat. Okay.
Exactly.
And they will do it every day for the rest of their life. Okay. So
at least 2 times a day.
Yes. So you have enough of raw materials for your company. Congrats.
Exactly.
Tell me.
Yeah.
What are the arguments against transitioning to wind, solar in the energy area? Because I hear this argument that solar and wind are not sustainable. Okay, so if you know if you know much about that, tell my audience the arguments.
Okay, so interestingly, because I'm someone who also likes to learn, I'm a teacher, and because I'm a teacher, my greatest resource is knowledge. And for me to continue to harvest that, I need to learn. I have to go back to school to learn constantly. So recently I was selected for the OAP, that's the Open Africa Power Fellowship, where I've been taking some courses online with a university in Italy. It's called the School of Regulation in Italy. And on this course, it's really exposed my mind on the renewable energy sources and their limitations and innovations to reduce the limitations. And so I'm going to share a number of things here. So first of all, there's been the argument about wind in Nigeria. I've overheard the minister for power in Nigeria saying that one of the reasons why it has been difficult for Nigeria to tap fully into wind is that now the height where the what's it called? The wind, what's it called? Is it the windmill now? The windmill that you're supposed to create.
Blade,
the blades, the height that you're supposed to construct that to, for you to really tap into high velocity or wind, speed of wind, for you to power a community sustainably, is really high. You must construct that pole really tall, so that the blades will be high up there and will capture the wind,
the strongest wind,
velocity, that is needed. The problem with that is its cost. It has a high cost implication. And he was arguing that the government might not be able to fund it because they would need a lot of it, and that is ridiculously expensive. So that is on the side. You have another argument about solar, that the cost of actually producing a simple panel, like a very simple one that will power one household, is quite expensive for an average Nigerian to afford. So, and they will tell you that the cost is from the cost of putting together the panel itself. So there is ongoing research to look for cheap materials that can also conduct energy in the same way that as you'd have it right now.
Yeah.
But using cheaper materials.
Yeah.
And that investigation is going on now. And I feel like within the next decade, your solar panel and the accessories might be going for as very, very cheap. Just as you have cheap phones now. You know how phones were.
Yeah.
Okay.
See, for me, I would say this. I'm not very happy about the work engineering schools in Nigeria and Africa.
Okay.
They have not been doing their work. Okay. Because for a country where energy is a big issue for us, okay,
yeah,
and a country where we have so much natural sunlight
resources,
okay, our engineering faculties should have been doing a lot of research in this space for a long time, and by now we should have been one of the foremost. I'm talking about Africa as a whole. Should be foremost in the space of renewable energy. We should be selling it. We should be selling it to the rest of the world. But we haven't done the work. You know.
I do agree.
Now they will sell it. They will sell it to us. Meanwhile, we have all the resources.
Well, but to be fair, because I work in academia, I can tell you that research of this kind is capital intensive, and so you need funds to do the research.
Yes.
And the problem with doing research in this part of the world is your hands are tied. You have the idea, you have the expertise, but you don't have the funds. You don't have the funds. And that's the problem. There's a huge gap between the industry and academia in this part of the world. Most of the funds should not come from the government. They should come from the industry, because they are the ones that will use the innovation as soon as it's done. They are going to use it more, right? But unfortunately, what happens is they have lost trust in the academic institution in Africa. So when the big industries in Africa wants to really do research to know what's happening, they take it abroad because they feel that they are, in quotes, more competent, they have the resources, they have the wherewithal, to make this work. And that continues to cause the gap.
Exactly.
The gap.
So somehow
academia in Africa,
we need to find a way to bring all those research things back to Africa, because if we don't do that, then the trend will continue, and the African universities will lag behind. Will continue lagging behind. So there's we have to find a way to do it. Really need to find a choice. Really. Yeah, we don't have a choice. I have two questions about transitioning.
All right. Okay.
One is in your domain, and the other is more a political decision. Can Africa truly transition its energy sources by the end of the century? Okay, that's one. The second one, should Africa be in a hurry to transition? Knowing that Africa is not a big contributor to the
greenhouse gas emission.
So should we do that?
Yeah, so for the first one, yes. Can Africa transition? Yes. Fully to renewable energy by the end of the century? Yes, Africa can. In fact, Africa is naturally positioned to transition, because we have all the natural resources that can make it happen. Like, there is nothing stopping us apart from the commitment of our leaders.
Okay.
That's all.
And research. And research.
No. The research is going to occur. The reason people are on ground to do the research. The problem is we need leaders that understand that this is a priority.
Okay.
So they will position themselves, make funding available, also look for a way to inspire industry to, use
get aboard.
the research to drive this.
Yes.
Governments can actually move the hand of the industry to make sure that they use local research, to drive this thing. Okay, let me just give you a very good example. Policy.
Yes.
Through policy, you can say, look, we are going to cut down your tax by 50%. If industries decide to replace, let's say, their production or operations with renewable processes.
Okay.
And immediately you would see that they will begin to do the math. Wow, if they halve the tax, that means we are not going to pay X million, Wow, all we need to do is to change production processes, right? Change the production processes, adopt renewable systems, and you'd see that it's going to be accelerated, right?
Yes.
And so the government has a role to play here, but we need committed leaders for this to work. They need to understand that.
I would say this first. We need, but we need educated leaders. No, see, it's true because maybe I'm wrong, but I think one of the reasons why we struggle with these things is that many of our leaders are not
educated.
They don't understand, and
I think they are very well educated.
No, see,
when you look at their backgrounds, they are Harvard graduates. Cambridge graduates.
No.
They are educated.
They have those people in their team.
Africa's.
They have people in their team. They have people in their team, okay, who are so educated, but then the person who takes the decision. See, I will tell you, I have a friend, okay, who is in a position. In the last 5 years, he has met probably all the 54 country presidents of Africa. Okay. And he tells me those ones who are in position, who understands when they're talking. Okay. Some of them do, but many of them are clueless. So now when you make a proposal, okay, and the person who is going to take the decision doesn't understand. Okay, doesn't understand. Now he needs somebody on his team to tell him, to explain the things we are telling them. Now that's after you leave. Now it now depends on the intention, the agenda of that person to convey the right message to the leader. Instead of the leader to listen to the person who is speaking, ask the questions, okay, to clarify anything he doesn't understand or he doesn't agree with, and then make the decision. See, because many of our leaders are not knowledgeable about those things, and they need so many other people to translate whatever you
exactly,
and that causes trouble. So because the agenda of that person will now determine what the leader hears, and he has her decision at the end of the day. Anyway, continue what you're saying.
There's a lot of truth in that, actually, and I do agree. Yeah, but really, I feel like in addition to being educated, we need committed leaders.
Yeah.
That prioritize this. They see it as very important. And so they can use the arm of government to accelerate this process, and it's doable. Nothing is stopping us at all, in the sense that everything is in our favor. We have the manpower, we have the resource. All we need is commitment to put the right things in place, and everything would start. The second question, which is that should we do it in a hurry? Should we be, yes, we should. It is a matter. Now, this is a matter that should, it's what's the word I'm looking for? When something, we can't wait, we can't wait. And the reason is that so much is tied to power. So much is tied to energy, especially as we launch deep into the fourth industrial revolution that is surrounded by tech, internet of things, and everything is just electricity cannot continue to be a challenge at that stage.
Okay.
And so we can't wait. Yes, we need to be in a hurry.
Okay.
We need to be in a hurry because demand will rise.
Yes.
And demand is rising. So we have to.
So that leads me to the next question I want to ask you. See, I've been alive nearly now 50 years. Okay, I'll be 50 next year.
Okay. Wow. Black don't crack.
So
wow.
See, in the first decade of my life, I saw Nigeria that worked. Okay. And I say this to anybody below 40 years old. They haven't seen Nigeria or Africa that worked. All they have seen is dysfunction.
Yeah.
Okay. Because when I was a young boy, I used to, in those days, when Festac was new in Lagos, okay, the soccer way in Lagos, under the streets, I and my friends used to go there to swim.
Wow.
Okay. We used to go there, swim. Clean water. Wow. Clean water. Okay. From the late 80s, everything was gone. Mess. Okay. In my first decade of life, light was constant. Okay. Light was constant. Now, no light.
Now, I don't know. Darkness is constant.
Yeah, okay. See, I know that if, just like you said, if we have light, constant light, the economy of Nigeria will boom, explode.
Exactly. Yeah.
Explode. Okay. So tell my audience what having constant light means to the ordinary person, the youths of Nigeria, the youths of Africa. What do you just paint that picture for them so that they can start dreaming about it and start demanding this?
Thank you. So I'm going to paint two pictures: the life of someone in a rural community and the life of someone in an urban community, so that they will understand that everybody needs power.
Yeah,
everybody, whether you were born in a remote village or you were born in Lagos, in the heart of the city, you need power to function. Now, so let me start with the urban. Today, where we talk about remote work, remote work has become the in thing today, even in Lagos, where I know a lot of youths who work for companies in India, UK, Canada, and they live here in Lagos and they earn in foreign currency.
Yes.
The only reason why that is possible is because they have a functional laptop, internet, everything powered by electricity.
Yeah.
Without electricity, that would never be possible.
Happen. Yeah.
That is the first one. The other example for the rural community. So imagine a farmer who is planting cassava, and he has this huge piece of land where he's planting his cassava, and then it's time to harvest, and he harvests them. But as we know, cassava is a crop that you need to store carefully
or process.
If you don't store, now there are two ways. It's either you store it, now even if you store it dry maybe in a room or something, it's going to still spoil at some point.
Yeah.
Because the biggest problem we have for food security in Nigeria, the challenge of that is actually post-harvest loss.
Yeah.
That's the biggest. It's not that we don't have food. The problem is that we don't know how to store it.
Them. Yeah.
Why? We don't have power to store it. And unfortunately, the people who go to farm are in the rural areas. And they still don't have access to power to store. And then those of us that stay in the urban places are waiting there for food, right?
Yeah.
And the food is supposed to come, but it's not going to come because they lack the power. Even though we might have more of the power, but they lack it. So you can see that there is a need for them to have power such that even if it is to slice the cassava and store cold, right? To store it in cold storage form, you need power. So you can see that even if it is that, you still need power. And if you are able to do that, you raise the farmer's income. He's going to sell more, definitely. And you've changed the life of one household in the rural community because you provided them stable electricity. So these are two examples I'm giving for people to see that electricity is at the basics of human need right now. We can't talk about anything else without electricity. As a matter of fact, the only reason why we are doing this successfully is because there is electricity. Right. So that
and to add to that, our industries. See, our industry. I talked to a young man who is a fashion designer in Aba. Okay, he's pretty good. I see his products always on LinkedIn. I mean, he tells me one of the biggest challenge is to compete with products from China. And the main thing they have is that they don't incur excess costs.
On power.
Okay. See, if he had power, cheap power, he could compete with anybody, because in terms of his design, he has them. But to produce that product, cost him. I don't know how much more he said power cost, but I know what that means, because my father has a small bungalow in Lagos, but to power that house, he's always running generator, and he's a retired old man. Okay, so to keep his house functioning with him in the house, because he's always at home, he cannot live without light, so he had to buy fuel all the time. And I can tell you the amount of money he spends to run that house in a month in Europe and UK. We're talking about the rise of energy costs. His energy cost in a month is like 3 times 3 months or 4 months of my hair. I mean, and we're in a country where we are so behind. See, having power will explode a country.
Exactly.
In every space, I mean, people can now do business and compete.
Yeah.
Everyone else around the planet.
Yeah.
So I just
and in fact, let me also add that many manufacturing companies that were here have started relocating to Ghana.
Okay.
Because of the huge costs they incur.
Exactly.
To secure their own power.
Yeah.
Right. And it's a lot, because when you are, let's say you are a manufacturer of cars.
Yes.
Right.
Exactly. Huge power consumption. Yes.
Enormous energy to run such an industry.
Yeah.
Imagine. That's why I give a lot of kudos to, I don't know whether I should mention.
Come on, anyone you can mention. I mean,
Innocent. I give a lot of kudos to Innocent sitting here and still producing those cars, and it's made the cost of the car to be expensive.
Exactly.
Yes, but a number of people can still afford, because
each time so go out, that tells you if you have power, how much reduction of the cost that will be. Yeah.
And then it will be affordable by the people, and they will be using more of the Nigerian cars here than imported cars.
Exactly.
And that affects the economy.
Now,
definitely.
Now, I will now ask the question. Okay. Why is our government not doing anything? See, in my position, okay, I can say maybe those people who are gaining from the dysfunction of our energy industry are the cause that they are holding everything down, not to work, just for them to make a few more dollars, because it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
So I attribute all this dysfunction to those few people who are making money from it, at the expense of every other person.
Yeah.
And that's so painful to see. Just to think about it, it's so painful. You know, I don't know. I hope let
me explain to the audience that there are 3 parts of a power, should I say, value chain.
Okay, very good.
There are 3 parts. You have generation.
Yeah.
You have transmission.
Yeah.
And you have the distribution network.
Good.
So the generation units, they are the ones who actually take the energy from its natural form.
Yeah.
Either from hydro or from gas or from solar, whatever system it is.
Yeah.
They take the energy from its natural, extract it.
Yeah.
That's generated it, right?
Yeah.
Then transmission are the ones. Now, this part, transmission, is actually very capital intensive, because you are going to line up
power grid and all that.
Power grids, power cables, line up across communities, across countries. You know, it will pass land and sea everywhere to get to a particular community.
Yeah.
Transmission is extremely expensive.
Yeah.
As a result, transmission is often monopolized. Transmission is often owned by a single entity.
Okay.
Now, after that, you now have the last bit, which is distribution.
Yeah.
Distribution is now the end part that now gets that power that has been generated from the generation unit transmitted through the cables, through the transmission guys, and then handed over to the distribution guys to send it to households. To send it to households. Now, Nigerian government some years back sold the distribution part to independent companies. I think about 15 of them, I'm not sure, or 12. Now, they sold this part to
the rights.
The rights, yes. Now, hoping that when private organization comes in, it will be better, right? He discovered that it wasn't better at all. Now,
the transition one is the most important.
Exactly. Now, the transmission is still held on to by the government. They still hold on to it. Generation, yes, they sold some parts of it. Some companies can generate fine, but they end up giving it to government to transmit. And now, by the time you now transmit, do everything, you send it, usually what distributors get is half of what was in.
So the energy is lost down the line.
It's lost down the line. It's lost.
So and the technology needs to be better then.
Of course. Now, to make it worse, what the distributors now get is not even fully distributed to homes. Why? Because when they get it at a high cost. And they are private companies. They will make profits, right? So by the time they want to sell, the government also comes as a regulator and tells them, please, you cannot sell more than this. And they'll be like, but I got it for this cost. How am I going to make my profit? And then that becomes a problem. They will then say, if we sell at this price, we will cover costs. Government will say this price is not affordable by the people.
So I mean,
then you have a problem where they say, okay, if that is the case, we will only release this amount.
Can you imagine?
I don't know if you can capture the complex situation, right?
It's interesting.
So it becomes a very complex situation. Now, while we are working, while that is an issue, there is another issue underground, and that's the issue of corruption, power of generator importing companies. Now, these guys, they are like a cartel. They are making serious money. They are making billions, not naira, dollars, by selling generators, both small and large, to different companies and individuals.
And then the diesel people,
and the diesel, So these guys are like a cartel, and they are stifling the efforts of government at the end, and also if they are infiltrating into government corridors to make sure that things that should be done are not done. Imagine, so when a particular government agency is supposed to act, that agency won't act. We'll just be looking, allow things to go bad. Because they've collected some Benjamins, right? From these people. So the cartel is actually very strong. As a matter of fact, they are so strong that they are stifling the efforts of government. It's not.
They are strong in conjunction with the government.
Some parts, yes. But then some years ago, I remember that I'm not sure. I think it was Goodluck's time. Goodluck Jonathan of Nigeria. When he was the president, he got this man from America. I think he's a professor of electrical engineering. If I'm not wrong, I think it's Bartholomew Unaji. Unaji. He got him from America. Well-established professor, and he made him the minister of power here in Nigeria. This man came excited. I'm here to do the work. Don't worry. The issue of power outage is something of the past. I just wanted you to know how powerful the cartel is. Sometimes more powerful than some people that should even make decisions.
Yeah.
They make it so difficult for you because they know that in a democratic system, you can't just act without certain parameters,
being and the policies and all that.
And policies and the actors that must be in line with what you're trying to do. Right? So what they do is if they can't get you, then they get those actors. So they frustrate you. And that's exactly what they did. They frustrated a minister to the point that he couldn't do much. And at the end of the day,
this is the story of Nigeria. Okay.
Yeah.
So many people have come excited to contribute to the development of Nigeria. Unfortunately, those kind of actors, those kind of cartels frustrate every effort. So for me, I say when I say we are citizens are the issue we have. So whenever people say government, I say people in government are members of our local communities. Okay. They didn't come from Mars. Okay. They are here with us. Okay. They came from our midst. So our problem is us. And until we say the truth to ourselves that we are our problem and we decide to fix it, nothing will happen. Unfortunately. Anyway, let's move on. So Babajide, see, I know I've read that you mentor young people. Okay. And I'm excited about that. I try to do that too. So tell my young audience how they can contribute their own little bit, okay? Because we all have a bit, okay? Everything we do, we can contribute to our society. So just advise my audience how they can make their own contribution to the advancement of their communities.
So first of all, I would say to the youths first is you need to figure out what you are created for. So if you are not sure of what your passion is, and it could be passion, it could be career. If you're not sure of what your career path, your career goal is, you will literally be running in circles without making an impact. And so the first thing I want youth to do is to have a meeting with themselves and to ask themselves, what do I really want to do with my life? What do I want to be known for in 10 years' time? What do I want to be celebrated for in 10 years' time? What will make me so proud that when they mention my name associated with it, I will feel fulfilled? If you can define all these and you know what it is, now you don't necessarily need to have exact answers to these questions. But even if it is a sketch, you have an image, there is an idea, that's good enough. Then
start.
First step is achieved. Next step is to start. Now, make deliberate efforts now to take little baby steps. Understand that it's little baby steps. If you are going to take the staircase to a building of 5 floors, you will notice that that staircase, you take 1 foot at a time to get to the 5th floor. That's exactly how life is, and that's exactly how career path is. It's little baby steps that will aggregate, that will accumulate to get you there. So understand what these little milestones will be and have them in front of you. Okay, milestone 1 is I need to get to this point. Milestone 2 is I need to get to point B, point C, point D. These little baby steps will help you achieve your goal long term.
Yeah.
Now, the next thing I want them to know is not to be too hard on themselves. Don't be too hard on yourself. These days of the internet, you just come online and you see someone of your age range is already doing some big things and you feel, oh my God, I'm a failure, I'm a loser, I'm a loser. You are not a loser. You are being too hard on yourself. The thing is, because we are now in the internet age where you can see what someone else is doing at the other side of town, it's put so much pressure on you.
Yeah.
Now, this has been in existence even before the internet.
Yeah.
People have been making headway before some others, and it's fine. It's fine for your friends to get there before you. It's fine. It's fine that you get there at your own time. It's fine. Don't let that put undue pressure on you, because once that happens, you are going to miss your way.
Yeah.
So don't be too hard on yourself. Give yourself the permission to fail. Failure is not the end. Failure is actually wisdom for success. So give yourself the permission to fail. And if you are too scared to fail, you will not take chances.
Yeah.
And again, taking chances and taking risk has been associated with success. People who succeed in life, there are people that they just take a huge risk. They just take a risk. But if you are too scared, I will fail. It's fine. And you would learn, right? That's what it is.
Yeah.
So the next thing I want to say is to never give up.
Very good.
Now, once you hit yourself on the ground, you have to get back up. Never give up. So you learn and you are wiser, you are stronger. And lastly, get a mentor. Because you see, in the journey of life, sometimes if you want to reduce the regrets you are going to have in life, get a mentor, because a mentor will help you reduce the number of mistakes you make, the number of errors you potentially make, because you are doing trial and error. But if you have a mentor, a mentor can say, don't go that route. I've been there, it won't work.
Yeah,
take this one.
Take this route.
So it
Very good.
reduces the number of regrets, it reduces the number of errors, and then you get to your destination in record time.
Very good. Very good. Thank you very much for that, Babajide. Now, for my last question. In 2-3 minutes, tell us your vision for Africa in 20-30 years' time.
Okay, so I don't know if you've seen the movie Wakanda.
Yeah, of course. Come on.
Okay, so sometimes when I think of that movie, I tell myself, this is not just a movie, it's doable. This Africa can be the Wakanda that we have seen, in that movie. Africa has everything in its place. The funny thing is that it's the richest continent in terms of natural resource.
Yes.
And will become the richest continent in terms of human resource in due time, in a few years' time. And so it would not just be the continent that has got the highest number of populated countries, but also the highest number of young people.
Yeah.
And we are going to get there. 20-30 years' time. We are already going to hit it at that time. So two things can happen depending on what we do now. And that's why I really hope that we play our part to make sure that together we make this happen in 20-30 years' time. Two things I feel should happen. One is, or I am not feel, let me change that word to I strongly believe can happen.
Okay.
Number one is Africa can become the center for innovation and development to the rest of the world.
Okay.
And the reason is simple. We have the highest number of young people. And so there'll be this drive for innovation to how can we change the way we do things? How can we improve processes and all that? And I feel that one way to do that is to now bring in local innovation, by the time we start using our local innovation and putting it into processes, the rest of the world will be like, this works. We've never seen it this way. Oh, this must be the African touch.
Okay.
And so I feel like we can hit that sweet spot of becoming the center of innovation and development to the rest of the world.
So the second one.
Okay, so the second one is that Africa can become a reservoir for young talents. That one is even going to happen, whether we do something or not.
Yeah.
Africa will become the reservoir for young talents to the rest of the world.
Yeah.
It has already started.
Yeah.
You would see how rapidly Africans have embraced tech, especially Nigeria. It's now the tech headquarters of the continent.
Yeah.
And now you see a lot of Nigerians getting jobs abroad remotely.
Yeah.
They don't even have to leave. And so I feel like this continent will become that reservoir to get talents. And of course, they'll have the highest number of young people by that time. So definitely. The only thing is that we need to continue to arm them with the necessary skill sets.
Exactly.
Which is why changing the curriculum quickly to ensure that these young people will largely have the skill sets needed in the future is important.
Yes.
And so these are the visions I have for Africa in 2030 years time.
See, Babajide, thank you very much for being a fantastic guest of the Think Big for Africa podcast.
Thank you so much for having me.
Good. See, I'll reach out to you again because I'll bring you back here to enlighten my audience about other things in your space. Okay. And good luck for your equipment. And
I need a lot of it.
Yes.
I need a lot of it.
All right.
Because it's a challenging hurdle, and I hope I'm able to cross it.
Okay. Take care.